Ukraine waited for Russian commanders to enter. Then 1,150-kilogram Flamingo warheads meet Crimea bases. Good evening and welcome to our special report. Today, we turn our attention to a daring and highly coordinated Ukrainian strike deep inside Russian-occupied Crimea. On the morning of August 30th, 2025, Ukraine launched a surprise assault using its powerful Flamingo cruise missiles, each carrying a massive 1,150-kilogram warhead, alongside swarms of long-range kamikaze drones. The result? Russia's command centers in Crimea were left crippled, naval facilities in Sevastopol severely damaged, and the myth of Russia's invincible S-400 defense system once again put to the test. Let's break down what happened, how it was done, and why it matters. The setup. At exactly 7 a.m., 3 Flamingo missiles were rolled into position on Ukraine's southern coast near Odessa. Each missile weighed around 7 tons, boasted a range of up to 3,000 kilometers, and carried bunker-busting warheads powerful enough to collapse underground command centers. But this wasn't just about raw firepower. Timing was everything. Russian commanders, gathered in Crimea to plan their next offensive, mistook Ukraine's preparations for mere defensive maneuvers. Kyiv counted on this. By striking at the very moment Russian leadership was vulnerable, Ukraine sought not just destruction, but disruption. The weapons of choice. The Flamingo missile is unlike anything Ukraine has fielded before. Built with fiberglass composite body to resist Russian electronic warfare, it can fly at subsonic speeds, hugging the Earth at just 20 to 30 meters above ground level. At that altitude, radar detection is nearly impossible until it's too late. Alongside the missiles, Ukraine deployed the UJ-26 kamikaze drones. These smaller but agile UAVs carried 25 to 30 kilograms of explosives. Their job wasn't necessarily to destroy, but to blind, to confuse, and to open gaps in Russia's layered defenses. Launching the attack. The operation began with the drones. Flying low and slow, they entered Crimean airspace from multiple directions. Russian radar operators saw flickers, small dots on their screens, but many assumed them to be harmless anomalies. Moments later, explosions rippled through radar stations and communication nodes. Power distribution units went dark. Surveillance waveguides snapped. The Russian detection network faltered, if only for a few crucial minutes. Then, the Flamingos took flight, launched in quick succession, each separated by just 5 seconds. They flew low, fast, and deadly, parallel to the coastline, undetected until they were practically overhead. The first strike's Flamingo 1 struck the Federal Security Service's command and communications base in Armiansk. The missile punched through the concrete outer shell before detonating inside. The building's exterior remained standing, but inside, the command hub went silent. Screens flickered, data lines burned out, and field radios across Crimea lost their backbone. Russian commanders suddenly had light, but no data. Minutes later, Flamingo 2 followed up, smashing into another key node in the same complex. The strike severed critical power lines and communications links, extending recovery times from days to potentially weeks. In an instant, Russia's intelligence nerve center in northern Crimea was paralyzed. Sevastopol under fire. While command centers burned in Armiansk, Flamingo 3 turned south towards Sevastopol, the heart of Russia's Black Sea operations. Its target was not a grand headquarters, but something more tactical and more crippling, a small pier used for patrol boat refueling and deployment. The missile tore into the pier's fuel supply manifold and command cabin. The explosion ruptured pipelines, dislodged mooring piles, and heavily damaged at least one hovercraft patrol vessel, an A-8 or A-25PS class, designed to carry squads of Russian Marines. For others, refueling cycles were abruptly halted. The harbor, deemed unsafe, fell into disarray. Why Russia failed to stop it? Now, here's the critical question. Why couldn't Russia's vaunted S-400 air defense system stop this? After all, the S-400 is designed to track and intercept cruise missiles, and in theory, it could have shot down all 3 Flamingos. The answer lies in physics and timing. At altitudes of just 20 to 30 meters, radar coverage is blocked by the Earth's curvature. By the time ground-based radars pick up the missile, it's already within 20 kilometers, mere seconds from impact. Combined with drone-induced delays and false radar echoes from coastal reflections, Russian defenses simply couldn't lock on in time. This wasn't about weakness. It was about exploiting a narrow window of vulnerability.
Aftermath and analysis. In the end, all 3 Flamingo missiles found their targets. The FSB's border command base lost its ability to coordinate field units. The Sevastopol pier lost its fueling capabilities and at least 1 patrol craft. And Russia was forced to reckon with a sobering reality. Even layered defenses can be breached when attackers combine precision, deception, and timing. For Ukraine, this operation marked a turning point. It proved the Flamingo system in combat for the first time, showing not only destructive capacity, but strategic value, paralyzing command and logistics without necessarily leveling entire cities. So, what happens next? Russia will no doubt adapt, reinforcing power grids, deploying mobile radar units, and tightening its defensive coordination. But for now, the shockwaves of August 30th will be felt well beyond Crimea. This was more than a missile strike. It was a statement. On August 30, 2025, at 7 a.m., Ukraine launched Flamingo missiles from Odessa toward Crimea, timing the strike to coincide with Russian commanders entering Crimea. Russia interpreted Ukraine's preparations as defensive, but Ukraine planned to exploit Russian complacency and the moment of command movement. 3 Flamingo missiles, each 7 tons with 1,150-kilogram warheads and 3,000-kilometer range, were prepared openly. Simultaneous use of UJ-26 kamikaze drones added complexity to the strike. Attack timing: drones sent 45 to 50 minutes ahead, missiles launched 30 minutes later, reaching targets in 15 minutes. Missiles flew low and terrain following to evade radar. The Flamingo missiles' heavy warheads and long range allowed flexible routing and a powerful bunker buster effect, exceeding twice the explosive mass of a Tomahawk. The drones launched blinding strikes on radar power systems and waveguides, introducing delays and confusion in Russian air defenses, so missiles would face reduced interception windows. Flamingo 1 struck the Russian FSB command communications complex in Armiansk. External structure remained, but internal power, data, and network systems were disabled. Flamingo 2 targeted power and data infrastructure at the same complex, further degrading command capability by severing backbone links. Flamingo 3 struck Sevastopol's pier, destroyed fuel lines, damaged mooring, and disabled at least 1 patrol hovercraft, A-8 or A-25PS class. Despite active S-400 defenses, all missiles evaded interception due to extremely low altitude flight, 20 to 30 meters, radar horizon geometry, and timing, preventing effective lock-on. Strike coordination and redundant guidance, INS, altimeter, terrain reference, ensured mission success even under GNSS jamming. Damage: command functions destroyed, fuel logistics disrupted, pier and vessels incapacitated. The scale of the attack demonstrates that even layered defenses can be breached if warheads are heavy, approach geometry is optimized, and timing exploits short reaction windows.